My name is Kevin.
My name is Karan,
And this is our courageous story. So our courageous story begins pre-pandemic when we were at home and got the phone call from our founding pastor that they had a vision of a church in Florida.
We got this call, and immediately I'm thinking, the Lord hadn't really told us to move to Florida, if we could be honest. And then, of course, the pandemic happened. And so that changed everything, because then we didn't have to move to Florida to help launch this church.
Yeah, for those that don't know, Courageous Church started as an online church first. So we were able to serve and attend Bible study, attend sermons and tapings from the comfort of our own homes.
So we were in the DC area during that time, and we threw ourselves into all things courageous. All of the heavy lifting that needed to happen as we were launching this online church, it required a lot from via distance, and so we did just that, and we really started to buy in to what God was starting to do and beginning to do here in Tampa, Florida.
So that led to us inevitably moving down to Florida partly in 2023.
We're thinking about relocating. We have 3 children at this time. And so it was a big sacrifice. It was a big step for us. But before we even got to move down, for almost the first, the better part of the first year, we were coming back and forth to Tampa, between DC and Tampa, every other week. And it was funny because people were like, why are we doing this? That seems like such a sacrifice. And it was, but we knew that God was calling us to Tampa, and God was really bringing us here for a reason.
The toughest thing for me as we were transitioning were those weeks where I would be in DC, my wife and the girls would be here, I'd be up with my son as he's finishing school. But the thing that made me feel good, and I still could log on and watch service and still feel like I was connected to Courageous, even though we were miles and miles away.
Our children made such a huge sacrifice too. At the time, our baby was an infant. Our older 2 children were in middle school. And so imagine being an adolescent, you're tweening. This was not the time to move, 18 hours away from your friends and everything that you've known your entire life. And so we had to get them on board. We really wanted them to see how important it was for us to be here. It took a lot, but we came down back and forth. They loved it. And over time, what they were able to get through the children's ministry, through CCK, ultimately Next Gen, was really just life-changing for them, because they finally got to see themselves here at Courageous. It was no longer like we're visiting, but this became our church. And it got to the point where every time we would get on the plane to go back and we would land back in DC, we would be like, because we really felt like Tampa was becoming home for us. And during this season, my dad became ill, and subsequently he passed away. And so during this time of pain and grief, but also joy, Courageous Church was such an anchor for me. Like, it was the community that I needed, community that was healing for me. And I think that folks at Courageous showed up for me in ways that I didn't expect.
We wanted to be at a place where we could actually do life and grow with people and together. So I feel like Courageous Church has afforded us that, and we have an opportunity now to do life with people. I have a statement that says, if we're not doing life together, then what are we doing?
Yeah, that meant so much for us, because Courageous Church really did become our family. It's more than a congregation.
I'm thankful that we were able to obey God through every test, trial, and circumstance, because I'm just grateful for our Courageous Church, our courageous community, and our courageous story.